Hello everyone and welcome to the stream. Okay, so my VTuber is not gonna pop up while we're doing the Christmas streams. I do have the Discord reactive for the live part. I don't know why I'm still wearing the headset because it's not gonna do anything now. No. I am not enjoying this bad internet. It's been bad for the last couple of weeks, and our internet provider is actually pretty good. Hello, Alistair. Welcome in. I hope you and everyone are feeling better now. Yeah, like the last 2 weeks has been awful, and our company is actually pretty good at providing good internet that doesn't bottleneck. So we think it's just the house and the weather, but I am currently the only one home. Sid is at work, and all that is on is my computer. And yeah, I was getting like 60 to 70% dropped frames with the kilobytes jumping all over the place, and not a happy kitty. Anyway, let me jump to that one and we will head into the kitchen. Because I've been touching computery stuff, I am gonna wash my hands before we start, although actually I should probably open up all the nuts first. And the cherries and the cranberries. Yeah, that will be enough. Okay. So all I can see on the iPad this time is chat, and I will be right back. Before I wash my hands, I do kind of need to blow my nose a little bit, or at least make it feel like I'm not gonna have my nose running. Okay, so today we are going to be making Christmas muffins. Again, even though my recipe is bad at telling me to preheat, we are going to make sure there are no towels on the oven, nothing flammable. And we are going to preheat to 180 degrees Celsius, which is 350 Fahrenheit. Hell yeah. 180. Okay, I really don't know what to do about the noise. This is going to be very, very noisy. Yep, scales are board is I like the mat because it does have the conversion charts up here. Okay, we are gonna press 0 for that. Now I have, so this is the thing. So it used to be fruit mints, but I went through this with someone who knew a little bit more, who told me I can change it, and I did change it with them there, and these work out really, really well. I don't remember the what I'd I'd normally percentage wise, because nuts keep changing sizes and fruit and stuff. So I've just done it for what I think we can handle. So there's supposed to be 80 grams. There's 75. There's supposed, maybe. There's supposed to be 80 grams of pistachios in there, but I was not taking the risk that, you know, that included the weight of the packaging, as so many places now do. Get rid of all the small debris. We do need to let all that air out. And I will try and get some paper towel to muffle a little bit and maybe stand. This doesn't seem to be doing. I will try and angle the microphone away as far as possible. Well, it's breaking the bag. That is not what I was hoping for. But yeah, you might want to turn the stream down for a bit while I'm mashing away. It's times like this I kind of wish I had a blender and I'd stick them in the blender. Possibly. As someone who doesn't own one, I'm not sure. So like the coffee grinder things. Alright. That looks... No, we've still got a couple over there. Oh. So I'm gonna count this as what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be fruit mix. Okay, thank goodness, because yeah, unfortunately I can't change the volumes or anything, and I don't have anyone home to change the volumes. I don't normally do cooking streams. I couldn't fit in streaming and getting everything ready for Christmas. Thank you, thank you. It sounds really loud to me. So it could be because I've got the fuzzy thing on the microphone, which is supposed to help with popping noises or something. Yeah. I don't know. I don't normally live stream. I'm just doing live streams over the Christmas period where I've been doing some singing ones, and all I know is I asked my hubby what does the fuzzy thing do versus the other top for the microphone, and he said it's supposed to stop some popping noises. Okay, that broke down. Thankfully, only 2 lots of knots to go, and like you said, apparently it wasn't as bad as it sounded in person. Actually, 1 lot of nuts to go, because we're not really... no, we don't really worry about it with the pine nuts, because they're already kind of small. Woo! Is it Trump showing? $75. Again, it's going to be most of the packet. Alright. Okay, yeah. Okay, 75. And unfortunately, I keep forgetting it's not as bad as it sounds to me. For you guys. So 3, 75. Of course, my nose is choosing to be a little bit runny now. Right, I was supposed to fill everyone in on what's going on and changing yesterday, but Sid and I watched some bad stuff on the news on Sunday night, late Sunday night, and I had a very, very bad reaction to it. So I took yesterday to recover. So a lot of you will remember that when I took time off, I said, well, we're getting stressed anyway. It wasn't great. Sid was extremely stressed. I won't go into details because that is his that is his stuff, but it wasn't good. And he ended up going someone at work about it, and they basically took one look at him and saying, no, we've got to pull you out of here. You are not healthy, you are not well, which was true. But it took a very long time for someone to accept that. So he had last week off of work. He was supposed to have 2 weeks, but he got offered full-time somewhere else, and he has started back as of yesterday. This does mean his hours and his days have changed, which I try and work my schedule around. So I don't know what time I am going to be streaming. At the moment, we've agreed, for the most part, that I can continue with what I had planned, at least for I planned all of my New Year stuff around his work schedule. So I was going to be changing, and I still will be changing my stream schedule after New Year's. But yeah, so if things are a bit up in the air over the next week or two or so, that is us trying to figure out a schedule that is going to work, that I can spend time with him when he's home. Because my setup is currently in our bedroom, it does mean that I can't really stream while he's asleep. Because we're down that bedroom still. And yeah, like there's still we will be moving, we just don't know when or where yet. They have contacted us that they potentially found a place, but they contacted us a few weeks ago, and we haven't heard anything since. So yes, I will not be streaming at 7 o'clock as per schedule. But yeah, if I put a time, like I put 4 o'clock for today because I'm still adjusting my sleeping, and that seemed like a good time. It is just a placeholder for now. I may be streaming earlier or later. The 7 o'clock ones, I'll definitely be streaming earlier. Rogged. You would think that PCG would be nice for Christmas. So I did buy slivered almonds instead of whole ones, so it should be easier to break them up. It should, yeah. Seems to have mostly worked. I don't mind a couple of big pieces. but I definitely don't want them the whole size of the slivers. All right, so there is our nut mix. I am going to quickly go and wipe my nose again and then wash my hands. I'm going to have limited opportunities to do this because once I stick my hands in wet dough, I'm a little bit fudged. And not in the good, gooey, chocolatey way. So yeah, it's going to be hard because my sleeping schedule, I generally get up that little bit late. So we might have a bit of overlap for the next couple of cooking shows with Sid getting home while I'm... All right, and we have an ad break. I'm gonna go get knife. All right, I'm just... Aha, we got to 93. All right, this is the cranberries. Yeah, we might have a little bit of an overlap initially with Sid getting home and me streaming over the cooking streams, because the next two cooking streams are going to be relatively long. I'm considering doing some of the prep off stream. Nothing too big, just like cutting the vegetables and stuff like that. Basically what I'm doing now. But there's just going to be a lot of prep because it is I got to roast some vegetables, so that means I've got to peel and cut and stuff like that. I would do... I might cut like the bacon off stream as well because there's a whole kilo of it. There's also a lot for the lumpia spring rolls. and I do want to focus on the cooking side of it. Like, don't get me wrong, prep is a big part of cooking and a part that a lot of people forget. It is one of the most time-consuming parts of cooking. Or at least in my experience. Everyone's like, oh, that doesn't take that long to cook. You know, just whack it in the oven for half an hour or so. I was like, well, yeah, but you know, there's an hour of prep work involved. It's okay. I do urge, like, not young people, but like people who are almost ready to move out on their own, to join in on the preparation of Christmas. Not the whole thing, just like maybe take responsibility for one thing and find out like how much your life is going to change if you decide that you're hosting. Or, you know, someone decides for you that you're hosting. Okay, so we are looking for 93 of these as well, which again is going to be the majority because I believe the packet is only 100 grams. So we're going to hold back one cherry at this point. Oh, we've gone over. Well, that was not 100 grams of cherry. $97, $92. Okay, I will settle for 94. I think that should be all I have to measure. Maybe they were, and the syrup has just got a little bit more. But yeah, I am pretty much the spirit of Christmas in our household. I love Christmas. And Sid is like, I just love having the day off. I think we were probably raised in a little bit different household. Christmas meant a lot to me growing up. And as such, it means a lot to me now as an adult because it brings back all those really, really happy memories. My childhood was not quite so happy, but Christmas was always it didn't matter which of my parents I was celebrating Christmas with. If I was celebrating with my mom, my grandparents always made us feel special at Christmas. My mum, not so much. But if I was celebrating with my dad would make me feel special at Christmas, and we would go and see all our relatives and extended family. And it was just such a wonderful, loving, caring atmosphere that it didn't feel like most of the time. So I want to keep those wonderful memories alive. Now, Christmas muffins weren't a part of my um, childhood stuff. They're something I found later when I was learning to cook and look after myself. Um, and didn't think that I had access to some of the stuff from my childhood anymore. With me not living with my parents, I don't get to go and do the rounds anymore. Um, I don't really get to see much of family anymore, um, except when my parents and my brother come visit. Hey, we should be done with the chopping stuff. I am gonna wash my hands because that was sticky. I'm really looking forward to the dough part now. Oh, I love glazed cherries, but yes, they are really, really sticky. So I did used to try and get the multicolored glazed cherries, so they were red and green. Unfortunately, prices have changed dramatically since I was last able to bake. That was not an option. We do have the pistachios. There's some green in there. Alright, so we are supposed to mix together the fruit mince, the egg, the buttermilk, and the oil. Okay, how much oil do we need? Half a cup of vegetable oil. That one's the half cup. Now I did realize as I was setting up for stream, I have no idea where our sieve is, or if we've even still got one. I used to have one. We have some for we have strainers. We do not necessarily have sieves anymore. So this is vegetable oil as the recipe suggests. Now, oil types, I do try and stick to the type that is suggested in the recipe. I know some of them are interchangeable. Some is not a good idea to interchange. And that is where I struggle because I don't know which ones have a high smoke point, which ones have a lower smoke point. So I don't tend to play around with that. So with the garlic knots that we did the other day, I played around a tiny bit. I got garlic infused olive oil instead of plain olive oil, but it was still the same type of oil. Welcome in, JMA Blazer. Thank you for grabbing your daily. Okay, we got 3/4 of a cup of milk. Now, this recipe says buttermilk. The original recipe I had that I cannot find said regular milk, and this one does say that you can use regular milk. Buttermilk is not something we use a lot of in Australia. When I went looking for it to make biscuits, like American breakfast biscuits, I could barely find it. to 3/4 of a cup of milk. So I think it's becoming a little bit more common to find now, and I want I'm not great at this, but well, I almost didn't get shell in it. I don't know if it counts if you drop half the shell in it. There is a little brown bit that I don't think is shell, but no, I can't get it out, and it is not shell. It is soft. Again, I'm gonna wash my hands because I loathe dealing with eggs. I don't often cook them. There are times when, yes, I want eggs and I will cook them, but it is very, very, very rare. I choose to beat my egg before I stick it in there. Now, it doesn't tell me in this recipe that I need to, but it's just a habit from growing up. Beat the egg thoroughly first. It just says add 1 egg. These little white ramekins are kind of good for this. They are a little bit small, but at the same time, because of them being white, really easy to see if you've dropped shell. So, again, that is not shell, but it does not want to come out. I can't really do much more than that with the egg. There you guys. All right, now I'm gonna mix all that together with the egg fork. It does say to mix together the fruit mince or replacement, in this case, egg, milk, and oil. That is gonna go in the sink. So We got that mix here. Like I said, we don't have fancy mixers here. We do everything by hand. Now to add the dry ingredients or semi-dry ingredients. Oh, I didn't realize the oil and the brown sugar were the same thingy, so I do need to quickly watch the really nice. It feels like it's still there, but I don't think it is. I do hope the stream is still up and surviving. Like I said, I am recording this time. Last time the recording saved my hide when the garlic knot stuff didn't work out. Alright. Now, so the recipe. Hello, Odin! Welcome in. All the way from America. So the recipe calls for 1 Aussie tablespoon of cinnamon. I have split that between cinnamon and nutmeg. I'm actually gonna So please keep in mind that Australian and American tablespoon sizes and stuff like that are different as well. It's not just the metrics. It is why, sadly, I can't use the conversion guide at the opposite end of where the recipe is. Now we got the nutmeg. Both wonderful Christmassy flavors and smells. Now keep in mind, I have already tried this recipe before. I like I said, I don't know if it was exactly the same amounts. So I do know that this works. It's not my first time making this with the changes. Okay, we got approximately half a tablespoon of nutmeg. Cup sizes are also different. So an Australian cup size, and we are talking measuring for everyone out there. Hi, Connor. I am making Christmas muffins. Unfortunately, Sid is not home, so we can't shout you guys out, but please, everyone, I don't know if they're streaming at the moment because they have been going through some really, really big life changes, but Kana and Odin are also streamers. So we are making fruit and nut muffins. Fruit and nut Christmas muffins. So, unfortunately, our sieve has disappeared. So we are not going to be sieving anything. We're not going to be yeah. So I can't put the flour and the sugar through a sieve. I normally would. But yes, so this is half of 250 ml. So 125, I think. Oh, there we go. We're gonna mix in those lovely, lovely Christmassy spices. The cinnamon and the nutmeg. I'm gonna like try and sprinkle it. Break it up a little bit because it is. Okay, I do need to bring that a little bit closer. You've never heard of this before? Tell Sid you said hi. Yeah, will do when he gets home from work. So the original recipe is to use fruit mints, but I'm using almonds, pine nuts, pistachios, cranberries, and glaced cherries. But yes, normally this would be getting put through a sieve, so I don't want to like just upend it and add the whole chunk of sugar. The flour I'm not as worried about, but the sugar really does stick together. And I don't want it to clump. So yeah, basically normally it would be a fruitcake, but made as muffins. Because yeah, I guess yeah, it basically is now a version of fruitcake, but there's probably less of the fruit filling than in a fruitcake. I don't know. I've never tried making fruitcake, to be honest. I buy it every year, and the prices have gone through the roof. So it's not something I haven't considered But yeah, there's no sultanas in this. Um, of course, like your ingredients may be very different to ours in fruitcake as well. I don't know for certain. Ah! Getting sugar everywhere. Okay, time to go. Ugh, rinse hands again. At least this one, I only kind of have to rinse and dry. Um, but yeah, I get the dark fruitcake, not the light fruitcake. When I do get fruitcake. So, I wouldn't make it with fruit mints. I really wouldn't. I've never made these muffins with fruit mints either. We do have an ad break. I'm just mixing at the moment. And while we've got the ad break, I am going to take the opportunity to go blow my nose. Which means more washing my hands, but okay, we are back. So this is before we add the flour. It does remind me a lot of fruitcake. Oh god. Now we are pretty much out of that other flour that I have been using. Not 100% out, but close enough. Now, today is Christmas muffins. Now, I'm getting confused. Today is Christmas muffins. Tomorrow is pierogies, which some people might know better as pierogi. Mine are cooked in the oven as per the way I grew up with them. They are not steamed like what I've seen from pierogi. So one of my dad's friends, who I grew up calling my aunts and uncles, was part Latvian, and she used to make these every Christmas. Not not the Christmas muffins, the pierogies. So I'm talking about pierogies now, not muffins. Sorry, I am talking about what I will be cooking. Um, and I miss them so much with not going on adventures with my parents at Christmas anymore that I looked them up on the internet. um, and found the recipe and started making them myself. And then my dad told this auntie that I had done that, and she gave us her recipe, which the dough recipe unfortunately is a lot more complex. So I have not tried making her recipe. I do really want to, because honestly, I thought it was going to be one of those recipes that she would hand down to her kids and no one else. Um, but at the moment, just getting back into cooking and baking, it is still far far beyond my capabilities. Kind of forgot that for this one I don't actually stick my hands in it. I am so used to everything else I'm going to be making that I'm going to have to stick my hands into it. So that's 1 cup out of 2. But I'm just mixing it in as I go, or at least mostly. So there's still like some up the sides and whatnot, but hello, Peppermint. Welcome in. Welcome in. How are you today? I hope everyone is well. I hope the internet is cooperating, because it wasn't when I started, and it hasn't been the last couple of times we've tried doing cooking streams. Woke up with a headache and it's still no bad headache. I'm glad you weren't here earlier when I was bashing the living out of nuts. Apparently it didn't sound too bad, but it's not the sort of thing that you want to hear when you've already got a headache. Hopefully some water and or some caffeine helps. Damn it! I didn't want to add that much at one time. It is what it is, but still. Now, to be clear and emphasize, we are using self-raising flour for this one. We will be using plain flour and yeast for the pierogies. Oh, you have gummies. I mean, I hope they help. I know some people have different ways of dealing with pain. I had to be really careful. When I was first dealing with my shoulder stuff, I went on some pretty weird to me medications. That could have been even weirder. I had to make sure that my doctor was not putting me on some natural pain relief that I didn't really want to take, that generally gives me migraines and not relieves them when smelt. Thank you, Connor. Please take care. I'm surprised you're still working. Like, over here, school is out. And don't we know it? All the delinquents are out in force. I really do hope you guys end up coming over here for your honeymoon and we get to catch up again. But please make sure you're taking care of yourself. Yeah, so I'm seeing flour down the bottom when I'm stirring this, but it's getting to a consistency that it's getting really hard to stir. Okay, I think all of this can go in the sink now. This stuff can go back into the little ingredient thingamajiggy. These guys can come out. A hoot hoot! You have this week and then they're done. Yay! Bye, take care. Alright, just packing up a little bit because I am gonna have to flip that to fill these. And I am definitely in need of another nose wipe. I don't know why. It could be the weather today. My nose is running so much. I have taken my antihistamines, but sometimes they're still not quite, or not antihistamines, the anti-hay fever medication that may be antihistamines. Making sure to keep clean hands. Now, I don't know if these patty pans are actually muffin pans. They do not look tall enough to me. But they are wide enough. I did test that. Now, I did order the rose gold ones. But honestly, I'm more of a fan of silver anyway. I ordered the rose gold ones trying to be a little bit Christmassy. They're cat proof. Okay, I finally got into them. Yeah, they definitely don't look like muffin patty pans to me. They look much too short. Trying to make sure that we get one per thingy, but if we double up, it's not going to be the end of the world. We do have a lot extra. So these are large size, but yeah, for me, like muffin ones would probably go up to there, but I don't know. Maybe I'm now. It has been a long time since I have a long time since I've done these. Like I've done most of the other things I'm cooking more recently than I have, if not all of the other things I'm cooking. Maybe the pierogies are the only things other than these I have not done relatively recently. Oh, for goodness sakes. Give me that. Now, I am only baking these once on stream. If there's extra left over, which I'm kind of expecting, seeing how much mix is here and how few holes, then I will do the other ones off stream. Now, we do want to push it down. We don't want holes in it if we can help down the bottom. And you don't want to fill them all the way up to the top. I don't know if that's enough, but I think it's going to be enough. I am worried about like that side over here, but because the mixture is as thick as it is, it's getting a bit difficult to like add just that little bit more and still have it feel cohesive. So, what is the recipe that I'm cooking over this time that everyone is the most interested in? Is it the Christmas muffins, the pierogies, the Filipino spring rolls, the dumplings, or is it the scones and the garlic knots that I cooked last week or whenever I cooked those? So the oil does seem to be rising to the top. Um, we're of course trying to make sure that we don't get any batter on the muffin tray, only into these little patty pans. This was a really, really good buy. It was the same price as all the other muffin pans, and it's supposed to be better quality and have a better, I don't know, like more even um, way, like something about it, like about the design is supposed to spread out the heat better. Now there are some crisscross patterns on the bottom of the like under the patty pan, so maybe that's it. God, that seems to be a lot to add at one time. I'm gonna try and get some of it off. Now, as I stated last stream, I am not trained in any way, shape, or form. I am doing this as a home cook who has learned from what they've done. I am in no way, no way a professional, so there are definitely things that I may be doing wrong. Knife skills, the way I'm putting this into the patty pans, the potential for overfilling. These are definitely not going to come out looking perfect like you get out of cafes and stuff like that. They're going to come out looking like you hopefully remember from home. I remember like cooking cupcakes and angel cakes and fairy cakes and stuff like that when I was growing up with my parents. Not often, but like it wasn't a every weekend we'd cook and stuff like that, but um I definitely remember there were times when we did stuff like that. With my mom, it was more the uh, crackles, like chocolate crackles and the cornflake ones. At least I think that was with my mom. I did learn a fair bit through school as well. So at least one of my primary schools, I had a few. Not because of me, but my mum moved around a fair bit, and then I went to live with my dad instead of my mom. But at least one of my primary schools had a thing that it must have been optional, or at least some of it must have been optional, because I remember it being sometimes small groups, and we'd go and we'd bake. In high school, obviously, so year 8. I think year 8 was the only year we had it. I don't know if it was optional for the other years or there were just too many other subjects or what went on, but we had home economics classes for part of the year where we learned to cook if we didn't already know how to. Yeah, we are definitely going to have mixed left over, but I don't think it's going to be a whole nother tray. I could be wrong, but I'm going to stick some glad wrap, plastic wrap over the mix, cling wrap, just to stop it drying out while it's not getting used. All right, oven mitts. I will stick the timer on for 20 minutes. It says 20 to 25. Oh, right, they are cherries. Where is the lid for the saisons? So to be fair, we have about 20 to 25 minutes of just chatting while we wait for those. Sadly, there's nothing more to cook or do. So when I do the spring rolls ones, there will be time in between everything I'm doing. So while I'm waiting for the vegetable spring roll mixture to cook, I will be making the chicken mixture. I will be cooking pre-made ones that are actually from my mom and not just me cooking her recipe. Because lately I've been having a lot of trouble rolling mine, and they are breaking up when we try and fry them. So I have decided that no, we're frying or air frying from frozen. I do need to get my drinks. Okay, we've got an ad break. At least that takes up a little bit of the time while we just wait. We're not watching paint grow, we are watching muffins rise. Sorry about that noise, if you can hear it. I'm just getting the cooling rack and putting that on the table. I'm gonna wipe off the scale. The mat is definitely gonna need a more thorough clean down today, so I will not be doing that. I can't do that as part of my stuff while I'm waiting, unfortunately. They are definitely rising. So I did think that I was going to be partially cooking these for Sid's work. This is before he changed jobs. I thought I would be sending some of those in with him for the long shift. So I got some pretty little. I got cupcake kits. And then I realized, no, I can't really use the patty pans because they're too small. And I wasn't going to be able to use the hundreds and thousands either. I already knew that because there is no. These are muffins. They are not cupcakes. There is a difference in the dough, or I assume it's still called dough. Like the texture and everything. These are they might work with a like cream cheese frosting, but I have no intention of putting any sort of icing or frosting on them. So the hundreds and thousands are not getting used, but I will stick them in front of the camera. So this is the pretty little cupcake kit. We got cupcake thingies that I wish I could have used, but they are smaller. Again, we have the hundreds and thousands that I had no intention of using. Just a red, white, and green. And I still kind of intend to use these when I put them out. I will not be sticking them in when they come out of the oven, but on the day that I serve them, potentially for my parents or other guests, we have some Rudolph sticks to go in them. So yeah, I got two of these kits, but I'm definitely not going to need anywhere near that. They are a 24 pack. I might be able to off stream use the. I think the one up there is no. The one up there is Muffins as well. Sadly, I was hoping it was a cupcake tray. Because I have no idea where the majority of my baking stuff is. It pretty much, I don't think, either it made it into the house in boxes or it didn't make it into the house when I moved over here. We were very run off our feet with my shoulder not really allowing me to do a lot. Basically everything got moved, but only the necessities, the instant necessities, got moved inside, and the rest kind of got forgotten about a bit. Now I'm reminded that I don't have the conversion anymore. I don't have access to it, but this is at 180 degrees Celsius. They're looking really, really nice. I like it. It's hard to see through our oven door. It is a very old oven. Um, like I doubt that you guys are gonna be seeing the view that I can see. I just hope they keep going up and they don't try and go out any further. We've still got about 10 minutes. Some of them are definitely looking a little bit shorter than others. It's just probably the amount of mixture I stuck in. It's not a bad thing. Some people do prefer less than others of certain things. I know when I made the little itty bitty baby cake version of these, like tiny patty pans, they were easier for people to eat. Now the cooking, I don't entirely know the difference, but basically you stick it in for less time. I don't know what the time is. If you make them in smaller, not muffin sized. Um, like I said, definitely not a professional. Now we will not be seeing these come out of the oven, but I will put them on the cooling rack in front of you guys. I can't access the oven without doxing myself. So that's not gonna happen. Like I said, if I dox myself, then I dox myself, but trying really hard not to. At least not live on stream. What is the time? It is nearly 6 o'clock. Sid has nearly finished work. I don't think he'll have finished by the time we wrap up stream, but it'll be close. He won't get home for another like hour after that, but yeah. Yeah, I'm definitely thinking that I prepare at least the vegetables, before I stream tomorrow. If not the bacon as well. The onions I'm not as worried about because the onions are pretty easy, but whatever I need to uh whatever I need to now I will only be making one batch of the dough on stream as well. Maybe two, maybe one for each. I will be making extra of the um bacon pierogies because they just get demolished. They are that good that they just, you put them out and they're gone. Um, oh, I can smell Christmas. Now there have been reports since before I moved in that this oven is experimental, and just because it says 180 doesn't mean that it is 180. Um, there's definitely been a couple of times that I've cooked that things tend to get a bit browner than normal. Um, so I'm not entirely sure. I don't know if I was supposed to do this on the middle rack or yeah, that it doesn't say whether I'm supposed to be doing this on the middle rack or the bottom rack. Um, kind of forgot that sometimes baking it's better if you do it on the bottom rack. Like I said, it's been a very long time since I've had the opportunity to cook some of this stuff. Um, just because I physically couldn't mix the doughs and stuff like that. It does take a lot of upper arm usage, some of which I still don't entirely have back. Um, All right, we are down to the last 3.5 minutes. Is everyone excited for the big reveal? All right, I'm gonna see if I can get in and out of Stream Manager and actually see the stream. Yay! Now I have the video up as well. Pretty much haven't had it for the whole stream, but I know my Discord reactive isn't the Christmas avatar VTuber, but at least I'm here in some way, shape, or form, considering I can't use my computer camera. We can put those away. Needs to get washed. As much as I did try to have some form of toweling between the nuts and the hammer, there were definitely moments. Oh, the smells. There were definitely moments that um the dust and everything got through, so definitely give that a quick wash. I hope I'm making everyone else hungry as well, because the smells that are wafting off of this is just, it smells like Christmas. And there we go. There is the 20-minute countdown. Time to check on them. I honestly think if I leave them in there any longer, they're probably going to get burnt. I know this isn't the way you normally do it on a cooling tray, but I can't get them out for a little bit. The wrappers definitely aren't high enough. There we have it. Christmas muffins kitten style. You can see all the like pine nuts and the cranberries, possibly the cherries. I think this one here is a little bit of cherry close to the outside. Alright, I'm getting the other oven mitt that has still got a tag on it, but I don't care. I can't do this with just the one. I don't even know. Yeah, I can't flip them. Oh, that is not going to be a great idea. They are definitely still very, very warm, obviously. Oh. The fact that the patty pans are metallic, actually easier to grab the dough than the patty pans. I lost a cranberry. I am gonna pick the tray out of the way. I'm gonna turn the oven off for now. So the tray, I want to cool down as well because I don't want the bottom of the muffin mix cooking before it even goes into the oven. That's something I've had issues with when I've been doing scones. If I leave the tray on top of the oven, trying to make these look a little bit neater without touching the actual muffins. Oh, okay, we lost a little bit there too. Right, over. Is that the second batch, sometimes the bottoms would burn, whereas the first batch came out properly. So I also want Sid to be able to smell some of these flavors and stuff like that. So I'll probably wait for that to cool down a little bit and cook some as he's due home. Now, obviously, I haven't stuck anything inside them. Well, not obviously, but I have not stuck anything inside them to check if they're cooked. They look cooked. I've generally never had an issue with my baking. If it looks cooked to me, then it is generally cooked. Um, like I said, I also think that if I leave it in there any longer, they're gonna burn. They are that like really nice brown. Um, but if I left them the extra 5 minutes, I'm pretty sure they would be overdone. We are not going to break into one of these on stream. They are not going to cool down in a hurry, unfortunately. And I honestly, I want to leave big batch for Christmas, and we might like eat the small ones at home. Especially if Sid gets home and he smells them, and he's hopefully taken his break today and eaten, but it's also not that easy to grab food, eat it in 30 minutes. Like sometimes the line can take 10 minutes. Sometimes the preparation can take 15. Because where he is, there is a food court. So he can buy food pre-made. But yes. All right. I am going to head back into the game room. I had a bit of an issue with the iPad. I couldn't get to stand up properly either. I don't often use an iPad. So I'm not used to using the case. All right, again, we don't have the actual VTuber. It's only the Discord reactive when I'm live. I hope everyone enjoyed that. I really, really do. As I explained, this gives me a chance to do everything I need to prepare for Christmas and still get streams across to you guys. I really hope you're enjoying the cooking streams. A big thank you to everyone who joined us, whether you were watching live, lurking, watching the VODs after. Thank you very much. Oh, thank you, Peppermint. But yeah, it does mean that I get to do everything I need and you guys still get streams. Because if I was just doing the cooking, I don't think I would have the energy and the time to stream. While these last ones have been very, very short cooking streams, like I said, the next 3 that we've got coming up are very time intensive. I might record but not stream the prep, and you guys can see just how long the extra stuff takes. But yeah, it's like I felt really, really bad coming back, and then, oh God, I've got to get ready for Christmas. I've got to cook this, and this. You know, I have no time left. But yes, a big thank you to everyone. Jamie Blazer, who grabbed your daily. No, I didn't miss the outbreak. I was trying to beat it. It will give me a minute to look at raid targets. All right, we're back. I don't know where the desktop audio is coming from because we don't have any desktop audio. Oh, we shouldn't. Yeah, a big thank you to Jamie Blazer for grabbing your daily gift. Massive thank you to everyone who is popping in through the time change streams. Like I said, it's gonna be up in the air for a bit while we get adjusted to the new schedules, with Sid completely changing his schedule, days and hours. So he's no longer working nights, he's currently working days. And yeah, just trying to figure out how we're going to fit me being able to do stuff in, considering the current layout of the house, whether we move my computer or we really don't know at this point. It's kind of all come out of nowhere. He went for the appointment and got told, yep, nope, yeah, you're going on leave, and then no, you're coming back from leave early. As generally happens around here. But we are trying to make the best of it and work with it however we possibly can. So just please bear with us. Like I said, the times for my streams are not correct at this point. So please do not listen to Twitch. Make sure you're checking. Well, if it says I've gone live, please listen to Twitch. But not the schedule on Twitch. I'm trying to update that as best as I can as I change things, but please pay attention to Discord for time changes and stuff like that. I will be hopefully starting a little bit earlier tomorrow just because there's so much to do. But that is also going to depend on if we get everything we need from the delivery to cook. Otherwise, it is going to be a very late stream, because Sid is going to have to get stuff after work. Whereas originally he would have been available to get stuff. So yeah, it is knocking things around a lot at the moment, but we're trying to work with it. So thank you very much for your patience and for joining in and for helping this channel continue to go and grow. You are all much appreciated. Thank you very much. Okay, where did that the raid thingy ran away from me because I had it open for too long. I am going to go say hi to another fellow Aussie. We're gonna raid Bunny. He's currently playing Sonic Racing Crossworlds, possibly with other people, but I don't see any other little Avatar VTuber thingies today. But always an awesome time, lots and lots of fun. So please go say hi, share the cat girl love. I will press that start raid button. I will I will raid F, and they're still not right. I forgot to change them. Raid S. Those ones are correct. Because I changed my emotes. But yeah, thank you everyone for joining us today, and bye for now.